So yeah, I thought I'd do a video about how I think within like the last 15, maybe even 20 years, maybe even longer than that, people are seem to be lacking manners, lacking respect, where that British value of having respect, having manners is seems to be dying. Not saying that, talking about everyone, like there's still people that have a lot of respect, a lot of manners, British values, but it seems to be a common theme that that thing seems to be dying, especially the sort of area I live in. Like I live in like outside of Manchester, like in the Greater Manchester area, and I think Manchester, I personally say it's probably the biggest city outside of London in England, but a lot of people say that's Birmingham, but I don't know. I think it's a fair argument that Manchester's probably the second biggest city, or has like the most influence on like modern day culture, like with like the rise of social media, mainstream media, reality TV, pop music, like modern day music is, or because Manchester's got a lot of these like music venues, so a lot of like young people who are glued to the phone are attracted to this, and mums that probably too busy getting too much fucking Botox and a facelift and all that shit and popping a kid out every year while the fucking boyfriend's on fucking steroids shagging another bird, getting into people's faces, like where I've met people like that. Like I've had the disfortune of meeting people like that. One specific that I've talked about in this video. But yeah, it's just a rise of like lack of manners. There's a rise of narcissism, it seems. People don't give a fuck anymore. And I've talked a bit about people not giving a fuck in other videos, but I thought I might go into more detail about that in other videos. But yeah, like where I live in Manchester, I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's something in the water, but there's just that culture where a lot of like the worst type of people in society hang around Manchester. People that I'd call them like modern day people. People that are glued to the phone, fucking like your popular mean girls at fucking school, like all of them fucking lot, just knobheads. And you got a lot of like UK dystopia in it, bruv, types that hang around there. Like if you know, you know. Well, 'cause I'm not going to go too much into detail about that because it might potentially get me in trouble while Stalin is in charge. But yeah, like I'm not talking about everyone. Like I'm sure there's plenty of good people about, especially in Manchester. Like I've met a lot of good people, a lot of people that have got British values. And that word British values is a big thing at the minute, the way this country's going at the minute, where a lot of people seem to, me having a bit of hope, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, people have awakened up and started to realise that, oh, British values, that's something precious we should keep hold of. Like, it's a big thing in our culture. And what makes us so great. And But like as an Englishman, as someone who's British, we all should know like British people should have manners. We historically a polite country. We're a polite nation, and I think in more recent years we've become a bit too generous. Some people would say it, and where we queue up for like getting on a bus, we say thank you and please and oh sorry mate, sorry mate, sorry like if you like accidentally barge people or something like that. Like historically we've been like that, but I think there's been a rise where I think I watched some video, I don't know if it was on TikTok, where a lot of people were trying to ram on a bus and it was like a fucking dystopian nightmare. A lot of people were too busy fucking filming it to shove on fucking TikTok, where people would do anything for a bit of attention. Like 20, 30 years ago, if you had someone on the top of a building threatening to jump off, like a lot of people would be worried and try to help, but not these days. You'd probably have a lot of people too busy fucking filming it to shove on TikTok, laughing, taking the piss. And I think, in my personal opinion, there's been a culture of taking the piss has gone too far, in my fucking opinion, especially with these young people. Maybe it's a sign of me getting older, but even when I was a teenager, I probably had levels of respect where I felt like you should be polite, be respectful, not. But I think there's been a huge wave of narcissism that's just gone too far with like, especially young people. And I'd even say people who are quite old, like in the mid-30s or something, can be like that. And yeah, just a lack of people giving a fuck. It's basically like the film Joker, the 2019 version, where that film's about a broken city, a broken system where people just don't give a fuck. Where there's that quote where, oh, if I was lying dead on the floor, you'd just walk right over me, which Arthur Fleck said. And that sort of film, I've got mixed feelings about that film personally, as a Batman fan, but that film kind of like it's kind of like showing a mirror on like modern day society, as like I think Todd Phillips has took what the worst things about New York and put it into a film and just made it into like a Joker film because it'd probably sell more tickets. So that's like an example, and I can see that like I'm a bit of like an Arthur Fleck type of character, but where this world just doesn't give a fuck. It's broken. It's a broken fucking system, and I think it's more than what's going on recently. Like if you know, you know, but we just live in a pure broken system where getting a degree means fuck all. Like I'm the perfect example. Putting your time and effort into getting a degree leads to nothing. Like if I'd have known that 10 years ago when I started college that it just lead to nothing, being in supported living, I would have quit there and then fucked it all off. And that's just the broken system, but that's just one part of it. There's plenty of other things that's not right about it, and just people not talking about everyone. Like I'm sure there's plenty of lovely people about, but that's kind of dying where old-fashioned values, people that lived in old England, where that old quaint England is a thing of the past, it seems. But I don't know, hopefully people are starting to wake up to the reality, and I think this last year has confirmed that the government's not on the side of normal people. So people are starting to like wake up to the Matrix, like what this fucking shitty world's all about. This shitty country where it shouldn't be. It's called Great Britain for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, but anyway, can you relate to what I'm talking about? Let me know in the comments. Catch you in another video. Goodbye.